Hi, my name is David, and I'm going to tell you why you need to avoid McDonald's. Yes, the Golden Arches in Moreno Valley, California. I can't speak for the rest of the county or the state or even the nation or even internationally because I haven't visited all of those locations. But I can tell you about my experiences with the McDonald's here in Moreno Valley, and there are several, and none of it is good. Hence, to avoid McDonald's Moreno Valley. There are several locations. Let me go over a few of them with you and my experiences with it. I'm going to save the worst for last, and I will explain why. There's a location on Iris. It's in Moreno Valley. It's near a Stater Brothers shopping center. It's also near the Moreno Valley College. So you can look it up if you want. Already know where it is if you live in the town. Anyway, we've gone there, and I don't visit this location as often because I live in a different part of Moreno Valley than I used to. But on the occasions I have visited, it has been lackluster at best. In one particular case, it was horrendous, and I will explain that in a moment. It seems to be a common denominator, as you will see as this video continues, that they don't know how to take orders. Maybe that's why the kiosks are there, but the orders are rarely correct, and our orders are seldom complicated. It may say no pickles, no onions, but it's not like, oh, we want this way, and that way. No, and the French fries are usually cold. Again, let's talk about the Iris location. For the most part, we didn't have a lot of problems there. We haven't been there in a while. We did have some issues with orders. We did have some issues with the food not being prepared correctly. We had some issues with cold food, or the food being part of it being done and not the other part being done. So we had to wait. But one of the most awful visits we had was myself and my wife were coming back from a doctor's visit. And there are two doctor's places near there. One's a Kaiser, one's a county facility. Anyway, so while we were there, we walked in, and the trash cans were literally overflowing with trash. I mean, I'm serious. We actually took pictures of it, and I ended up contacting the McDonald's customer service line. They gave us a free meal, which was fine, and the restaurant was clean on that day, but it was absolutely horrendous. We had been there before, and it was less than clean. It wasn't horrendous, but it was less than clean. And on our return visit, we didn't specify what day. It wasn't bad, but again, it wasn't. I mean, the tables were dirty. They were again, the trash can was overflowing. The funny thing, it was on that particular day, they weren't busy at the moment. There were free people, so it could have been cleaned. Had they been really busy and there was no, I certainly wouldn't have understood it, but I would have understood it more. So I would say out of all the locations in Moreno Valley, this would probably be the best one. And I'm only saying that because I don't visit there that frequently. And honestly, I wouldn't go at all if it wasn't for certain family members like chicken nuggets. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't go at all because it's not the same. I'm old enough to remember when McDonald's used to be good, clean, and orders done right. And anyway, but the Iris location of the several locations that are in Moreno Valley, I would say is the best. And that's not saying much, okay? Because if it were, again, as the title says, avoid McDonald's in Moreno Valley. And I seriously mean that. Avoid it. It's not worth the time, the trouble, the money. You're not going to be satisfied. It's just horrendous. So let's move on to another location. Another location is located on Alessandro. It's in the Food for Less parking lot. It's been really bad about getting the orders right. And they even have the kiosk, the little thing we press the buttons and all that. And the orders are, come home, find the order wrong, or the specific toy that was supposed to be in there was wrong. Several times the fountain drinks have been empty, or not having certain ones. And my wife does not drink anything with caffeine. And those, of course, those are the ones that they're out of. So what is my wife supposed to drink? We've had cases where people at this particular location were rude. I won't say obnoxious, but rude. Again, calls have been made. promises made to fix things, and even offered us, a little card with a free meal on it or something like that. That's all well and good, and that's nice and it's appreciated. But you know what? It doesn't replace the fact that the meal was ruined, or it wasn't done right. You go to some place, you go to get your meal, enjoy your meal, move on with the rest of your day or night, and go on. But if you have to call back or find out part of your order's missing and drive back, or however you need to do, or somebody does without food because it's just not worth the hassle, it's just a pain in the butt. And that's what this location is like. And again, there have been cleanliness issues with this particular restaurant. Moving on to the third of the 4 locations that I'm talking about. I believe there's only 4 in Moreno Valley. If I'm wrong, then I apologize. This one's on Elder Street. It's near Paris Boulevard and Elder. I don't even go there anymore. That's how bad this place is. I don't even attempt to go there anymore. It's always dirty. The orders are always wrong. The food never tastes right. Phone calls have been made. Promises have been made. It's been the same. It never changes. And this is, over a period of time. And this particular location is probably where I have the longest history, although it's certainly not the worst of the 4. It's probably next to the worst. And I only say next to because I don't go there anymore. I live closer to the one we're going to talk to next, which is the last one, which is the worst one as far as I'm concerned. And I will tell you a story on how they ruined Christmas. Yes, they ruined Christmas. And their lack of reaction on it, in fact, their lack of response, both from customer service and from the people in charge themselves. But on this, going back to the one on Elder, it has a long history. If you go to talk to people locally, they will all tell you that this location on Elder Street is really, really bad. It actually has a worse reputation than the one I'm going to mention next. But the only reason I'm mentioning this one next is because it's the one that's closest to our homes, when I frequent the most. I don't try and frequent McDonald's at all for obvious reasons. Why I'm telling you to avoid it, because this is how I'm taking a stand against McDonald's. And you will see why as I end this video on why I'm doing this, in order to maybe get their attention, because they're ignoring everything. And you'll see why in a moment. The last location, and as far as I'm concerned, is the worst. It's also the newest. It only opened a couple years ago or something. It's on Sunnymead and Heacock. It's in the Superior Shopping Center. You'll see a Superior Grocers there. There's an Office Depot there. You can see it if you're driving down Sunnymead. If you're heading east on Sunnymead towards Heacock, you will see it. It'll be on your right-hand side. It's impossible to miss. This place has consistently had cold French fries, no matter what. We've even asked for them to be made fresh, and they still ended up cold. I don't even know how they do that. I know, are they putting them in the freezer before we get them or what? I don't know. The food has been less than tasty. And again, the orders are always wrong. Always. I mean, whether we order it, drive through, Uber Eats, dine in, carry out, the order is always wrong. It's never right. Or if there's a Happy Meal thing and there's a specific toy that is supposed to be there, it's not there, or there's no toy at all, or it's the wrong toy. It's just been a mess. And the straw that broke the camel's back happened on Christmas Day. What happened on Christmas Day was we decided we weren't going to cook. We are going to relax. My wife has, mobility issues, and that's so. We'll just go to KFC. That was the plan. Now I understand we're not talking about KFC here. KFC was supposed to stay open until 6. For some reason, they decided to close early that day, probably from lack of customers. Well, it was Christmas Day. Where else are we going to eat? We had no choice. The only other option was McDonald's. Now, that particular day, my son and I, or my 22-year-old son and I, walked to KFC. It's not that bad of a walk, but it's about a mile. And then we had to walk to McDonald's. Again, it's about the same length, from our home. It's not too far away. We walked to McDonald's. What we were going to do, and what we did, is we actually paid for an Uber to take us home, so we make sure the food was hot. We were very specific about the food being hot. We were very specific about the order. There was a Happy Meal that was purchased. We were asked about a certain toy. The person taking the order had the toy in their hand, showed it to us. That was fine. Guess what? That toy never made it into the bag. Some other toy made it into the bag. Why? I don't know. When she had it in her hand anyway, there was articles of the meal that were missing. Literally, my wife did not get to eat because part of the meal was missing. Some of the sauces were missing, even after we specified things. And I know you say, why didn't you check the bag? We're a family of 5. That's a lot of bags to go through and all that. We were very specific about things. Yes, we could have went through that bit better. But you know what? We didn't. It doesn't matter, because if you think about it, they're supposed to get it right. Especially when we go in there and say, hey, you guys always get it wrong. You need to get it right. We wanted the French fries hot, all that. So it was a mess. It was really a mess. So what happened next was, after that, I called the customer service line, and they had somebody call me back. What I wanted was a refund. I didn't want any more food. Unfortunately, and this is unlike me, it really is. Unfortunately, I did not have the receipt, so they could not give a refund. They said, well, let me call you back. They promised me they would call me back. They never called. I made 4 more calls to the customer service line. And what the customer service line finally told me, well, they must feel the matter's closed. I go, they never denied me a refund. They said they'd call me back. They never did. So they're absolutely ignoring me when I've made it very clear they have a history of this going wrong. I would have taken a free meal reluctantly, but I would have taken it just basically because I didn't have the receipt. That was on me. Why I didn't have, oh, by the way, there were 2 receipts. Why were there 2 receipts? Because they screwed up the order and they had to add something on afterwards, even though we repeated everything several times. My son was with my 22-year-old son was with me, and I didn't ask them to reimburse me for the Uber. I should have asked them to reimburse me for that too, considering they ruined Christmas dinner. And I do mean they ruined Christmas dinner. You know, my wife didn't get to eat. The other food was right. My wife was upset, so that kind of put a damper on the day. So again, this is what happened. They chose to absolutely my request. They didn't call me back like they said they would. I made 3 or 4 more calls to the McDonald's customer service line, and I'm going to give you that number. This is the number that they had me call, 1-888-623-7622. Now, this is the latest letter they sent me, and I'm showing you here. I'm going to read it to you. It's a generic letter. It's really meaningless, but what it says is, Dear, I'll leave my name out of it. Dear David, we'll say, thank you for the time to share your recent experience at the McDonald's located on Sunnymead Boulevard in Moreno Valley. I apologize that you were not satisfied with your last visit. I was also sorry for the problems with the follow-up that you received. Our goal is 100% customer satisfaction, and my team works hard to deliver fast, friendly, and accurate services to guarantee that each visit you make is a pleasant one. I have shared your experience with my restaurant team. Please be assured that your visit serves as a valuable reminder that our customers are our #1 priority. We truly appreciate your feedback. And again, thank you for taking the time to share your experience with us. We hope you have an opportunity to serve you again. If you have any other questions, then they give that customer service line again, which obviously we know is going to do nothing. There's no there's a generic apology. There's no offer of any kind of compensation or anything, especially when they know there's a history of that. So again, what I'm telling you, anyone watching this video, if you are in Moreno Valley, stay away from any of the McDonald's in this city, but especially the one on Sunnymead and the one on Elder. These ones are the worst. I've told you stories. If you want to leave a comment on here, I'd be happy to comment if you have any questions. But again, do yourself a favor. There are other restaurants you can go to. The Wiener Schnitzel, or Wiener Schnitzel as they call themselves now, has excellent French fries. They have excellent service. The food is always hot. That's close by. Jack in the Box is right across the street from McDonald's. I've ate there a couple times. I don't have a problem with it. The orders were right. The food was okay. So they're right by each other by the Sunnymead location. KFC is not too far away, and their chicken's always good. So again, avoid these places. And you know what? Tell them you avoided them. Force them to do something and make it right. Okay? I welcome your comments. Thank you.